You know, there's something called the Rule of 72. I don't know if most of you may be familiar with that, but the Rule of 72, it tells you how long it takes to double your money based upon the rate of return you're getting on your money. With interest rates today, let's just say you can get 2% on a time certificate somewhere, okay? And that's pretty good right now, okay, 2%. The Rule of 72 says you divide the number 72 by the rate of return on your investment, and that'll tell you how many years it takes to double your money. Let me do the math for you just in case you haven't done it yet. It takes you 36 years to double your money, earning 2% interest, okay? I mean, imagine putting money into an account like that for your children or grandchildren's education. After taxes and inflation, you've lost money by the time they're ready to use that money. But what if you can get, what if, you know, the stock market historically has always returned an 8-9% rate of return. It's been much better than that as of late, but my own personal calculation, I anticipate every year I'm going to earn 8% on my stock market portfolio, and anything more than that is just frosting, okay? So at 8%, I double my money every 9 years, okay? That's much more livable as far as I'm concerned. And then I look at the investments I made for my grandchildren now. That's really perfect. That means there's going to be a pretty big chunk of change waiting for them somewhere down the road, hopefully long after they get their education, but more for their retirement. So I really like the concept of investing for the long term. And of course, again, that's for you to decide, and we can chat a little bit more about that. One of my favorite books on investing is a book called Winning the Loser's Game. By the way, how many of you are first-timers here tonight? Have been just the first time you come? Great, because sometimes I have a tendency to repeat a lot of things, so I wonder sometimes if I should, but with that many folks here for the first time, I do want to mention some things. I mentioned the book, Winning the Loser's Game. Charles Ellis is the author of the book. First was published in 1976. It's been revised and updated a number of times. I think the last one was about 3 or 4 years ago. It's probably what I like about the book is the logic that Mr. Ellis uses when it comes to investing in a lot of different ways. But one of the chapters that jumped out at me, because I deal with this, I do a lot of classes and programs for retired people, seniors. And I get into my spiel about long-term investing, and there's usually somebody after a few minutes raises their hand and says, "Hey, Chamberlain, I don't even buy green bananas, buddy. Don't talk to me about long-term investing," okay? So I always kind of have to remember that not everybody shares my same attitude about this. But in the book, he talks about the mistake people make as they get older and the way they approach investing. And he said, and this is logical. This is extremely logical. Most people make investment decisions based upon their own expected mortality, okay? They're probably retired, they're living on a fixed income, they're getting Social Security, a pension, some other type of income, but they can't afford in their mind to lose money because they don't have the opportunity to go out and earn that money back. So as a result, they wind up putting their money into very low yielding deposits and things like that, or they make hellacious mistakes by going out and investing in something where somebody tells them they can make 25% on their money, okay? So it's one extreme or the other for these people, okay? What he suggests in the book is that you make investment decisions not so much on your mortality, but on the life expectancy of the people you want to leave your money to, okay? I love that concept. Now, you don't have to do this with everything, but certainly it would apply to a big chunk of perhaps your investable dollars. I have 3 grandchildren. 2 of them are 9 years old. 1 of them's 5 years old. All of them have a very good chance of living to be 100. A baby born today has a 50-50 chance of living to be 100, okay? So when I make investment decisions, I'm doing it with them in mind. Not my mortality, not my wife's expected mortality, but my life expectancy, and base it on their life expectancy. You'll notice I didn't mention anything about my own children, okay, because they've already gotten pretty much everything out of us they're going to get, okay? So now it's all about the grandkids, all about the grandkids. I've used this one before, so I apologize. You know why grandparents and grandchildren get along so well? They have a common enemy. True case. So by doing that, I can say, well, I've got a 70, 80, 90 year time horizon for these investable dollars. My goodness, I want to take as much logical and reasonable risk as I possibly can. with these investments. So that's why I think investing in good quality companies with good long-term potential pays off very handsomely. The other thing about investing that for me is very, very important is I'm a dividend junkie. I just absolutely love dividends. My wife and I just celebrated our 40th wedding anniversary, and we went back to the Smoky Mountains in Tennessee for a trip to go to a music festival and stuff. And we were driving from the airport in Knoxville to this little town, well, not so little town, of Gatlinburg. And so we're driving along these roads, and I guess I watch a lot of cable TV, just like everybody. I saw this restaurant that I said, oh, I've heard about these restaurants, but there's none of them in California. Okay, anybody want to take a guess what it might? Cracker Barrel, way to go. Exactly right, Cracker Barrel. And I'm going, I really want to eat at a Cracker Barrel, okay? I want my first meal in Tennessee to be at a Cracker Barrel, okay? So we swing in there, and this is great. I mean, I don't know, if any of you know, please tell me later on, I don't know anywhere in San Diego where I can get fried chicken livers, okay? And oh my God, they were so good. They were so good. And I knew Cracker Barrel was a publicly traded company, so I came home and did a little look. And by the way, I didn't invest in it. I don't know that you should invest in it either. But one of the things that jumped right off the page at me when I started looking at Cracker Barrel was a press release from the company that said it has increased its quarterly dividend by 50%. And I'm trying to look on here. They have a pretty long history of raising their dividends. I can't find it right on the page here right now. But they have a pretty long history of raising their dividends. Now, they raised their dividend by 50%. That's a huge increase. Most companies don't raise their dividend that much. A good quality company, I'll mention a couple others here just as a point of reference, raises their dividend 10, 12% a year, okay? But think about that. You've got an investment generating income in the form of dividends, and next year that stock, that company, is going to pay you 50% more than they paid you this year. I don't know many other investments that give you that inflation protection and that income boost that you can get right there. So I thought that's the kind of companies I like to invest in.